Hi, this is Benandorf. Welcome back to another episode of Crusader Kings 2, The Old Gods. We last left off, we had succeeded in taking a little bit more land over here in Wales, and so, to start off, I think we need to make some more war. Question is, should we take chunks of Ireland, or perhaps just go ahead and take the rest of southern England before our brothers of the faith slowly pick Wessex off county by county? As it would appear, one of the dukes have started to do already. So, I think Wessex is probably the better choice, to be quite honest. And it looks like we can only also pick off one at a time. So let's start trying to take Oxford. And raising all of the levies, which I will go ahead and combine up in Shrewsbury before heading off to Oxford. Unfortunately, these 67 troops that were raised in Worcester will probably be, well, not probably, will definitely be completely wiped out. I'm going to disband this Danish army over here in Finland, but we'll group up the rest here in Copenhagen, I suppose, or Zealand. And gonna put some long ships together so that I'll be able to move this army over. And yeah, those 60 or 72 troops died, but they did not die in vain, for soon we will have more than a large enough army. Oh, and it looks like somebody here has, Jorvik, has decided to, or not necessarily decided to, by pure coincidence on the way to invading Gloucester, which is what they're trying to take, has come up against the army of Wessex and is doing a nice job of wiping them out for us, which is quite nice, I do believe. Right, this army's grouped up well enough. I'm going to replace this general with one that's a little better off, and then send everybody to group up in Oxford. And there we go. So Wessex's army is pretty much destroyed at this point, to the extent that I probably don't even need these troops. So instead of... oh, the fleet's just a little too small? No, they had to be grouped. I'm going to go ahead and send these troops into the Mediterranean to loot a little bit. I think the first target will be Venice. So while the English troops are busy over here taking Oxford, it will be nice to get a lot of gold by looting and pillaging the Mediterranean. And we have a couple small Wessexonian, I have no idea how you would create that. A couple small armies moving around in Warwick and in our English holdings. So what I'm going to do is split off the retinue to clear them out, and then bring them back to Oxford to continue the siege. And the retinue did its job quite well. Finning troops are weakening in Oxford. And there we go, the first siege is down. One down, 3 to go. Very valuable holding. I'll probably keep this one for myself. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and give away Northampton, which... who to give it to? Oh my, some of these sons are pretty useful, or pretty valuable, I should say. But I might end up assassinating some of them if we get enough money, and if any of them are rather useless, But anyways, giving away Northampton. Want them to be my religion and my culture, and of course male, and not a ruler. No need to strengthen anyone already strong. And looks like the Steward of Hereford is the lucky lad. So congratulations, dude. You now have a nice chunk of land in England. I don't think Vikings said dude, but you guys know what I mean. Let's see. Our raiders have arrived, so let's get to looting. Easily wiped out the enemy troops here in Venice. And wow, we are looting 3 gold a day. We're definitely going to hold out and actually siege down and fully loot all of the holdings here in Venice, because we have plenty of space on the fleet, and it looks like there will be plenty of money to be had. And the small army of Wessex is still moving around. Plus Scotland has expanded into Wales. We're really kind of in a race with them to try and take as much of Britannia as we can before Scotland does, and sooner or later we will have to actually go to war with them. But not quite yet, at least. So for now, just focusing on continuing to take more of England. We'll get into that race when we have to. When it looks like the King of Aquitaine has sent us a gift in the form of a missionary, so we're going to toss him in the dungeons. No interest in this Christian god. Ooh. And our king now has the Great Pox. So, let us see. Which sons? They're all in, or this one's in Holstein. Let's build a spy network there. Let's see if we can't successfully assassinate. Ooh, no. That would not be very effective. I'm going to switch out and switch back, which is a little gamey. And instead, send the spy to Yulin. Try and kill off my youngest son. Yes. Much more successful. One less to split the titles between. Which, if I may die of Great Pox very soon, so it will be good to not have to lose all of those titles. And let's send... I'm going to break off the retinues again and send them to break the siege here in Warwick. Well, assuming they can actually catch the enemy. And then, of course, we'll have them rejoin the siege currently going on in Oxford. And our Chancellor has usurped a title, a mayor title in one of the Welsh cities, but he took it from a Catholic, so I see no problem with that. In fact, he may have just increased his holdings a little bit. Wow, 60 gold from Venice. And destroyed the trade post, which I'm sure the families will build back very quickly. Not worth it to continue sieging down Venice, though. Let's see, we should have over 100 loot already. Let's mess around with some of these other republics. I imagine they have plenty of money to go around, and would be more than happy to share it with us. A successful siege. We have taken the daughter of one of the mayors of Oxford as our prisoner, which she's 10 and Anglo-Saxon and Catholic, so doesn't mean anything to me, but I might sell her back or just let her rot. Assuming, of course, she doesn't get released as soon as the war is over, which she certainly might. But grouping this army back together, and these next sieges should go through much quicker than the ones previous. Laid siege here in Messina. It's nice that their main holding is a city, because those are much quicker to siege down, and that means we can crack open the proverbial golden egg and get all of the wonderful money from inside much easier and quicker than for feudal holdings. And another small army trying to siege down one of our holdings, which has basically no garrisons. Jorvik has successfully taken Gloucester, which is annoying but doesn't affect us too much at the moment. And Wessex has called in the Duke here in Wales to his war. Ooh, and the King of Francia, which is a little more alarming. But we've sieged down this town of Oxford now, just the temple, and hopefully the petty King of Wessex will accept our rule. We have taken the son of a wealthy republic prisoner, as well as finishing the siege of Messina and destroying the trade post there. All of that money. It looks like we have a peace offering. Alright, we'll accept the surrender. That was easier than I expected. All of these titles, plus of course the one war. So let's toggle looting and get to some more looting while we're at it. First, going to give away these two, and then see if perhaps... I know for Christians, if you give temple titles to your sons, it pulls them out of the line of succession. So I'm going to see if that's also the case here. Yes, it does. Noted. That is extremely useful to know. Means one less son in the pool now. So now I just have the 2. That is actually excellent to know. We do actually get some prestige from taking concubines, so there is some value to that. Not a ton, but looks like 0.2 a month per concubine, which is, you know, noteworthy. And sieging down the castle in Messina will not be worthwhile, so I'm going to walk across and move on into this other one, Girgenti. Oh, and I've had a daughter, which suits me quite well. Caught the enemy in Girgenti and completely wiped them out. And so, sieging down this next bit of land. Oof, bad siege event for us. Let's see how these others are doing. I'm already halfway there, might as well finish off sieging down all of these holdings in Wiltshire. And another bad siege event. But there we go. 50 whole gold from that one. And our longships are starting to fill up. So sending these men back to the boats, and going to actually siege down some of the land here in mainland Italy. I have a big enough army that Napoli and Amalfia will not be able to really challenge me. And of course, all of these towns are very quick to siege down. Looted a little bit of money here in Wiltshire. So going to definitely siege down the next bits. And our Chancellor apparently has died, but that's okay, easy enough to replace him. Chancellors aren't really doing all that much anyways. And sending the Spymaster to study technology in Constantinople again now that he's done killing off one of our sons. And the looting's going quite swimmingly. Oh, one of our traitorous vassals is complaining about the dungeon, so I'm going to first of all revoke his title and then send him to the Oblate. Which does mean, however, that I'm going to need to find another person to take on one of these cities, specifically Stafford, which is a city. And this young boy here seems like as good a choice as any other. Which, County of Warwick. And we finished off one of these sieges, the one here in England, for 35 gold. Negative siege event in Amalfi. And it looks like one of our vassals is trying to fabricate a claim. How very unnoble of him. Very ungrateful, since we gave him this land. So what I'm going to do, choosing suppress revolts here in Foon, and going to imprison this guy for trying to be a traitor. But because he didn't actually act against me, because he had a plot, I didn't lose any opinion for anybody else, or none of my other vassals lost opinion of me because I imprisoned him. But because he didn't actively commit treason, I cannot revoke his title, so he'll just sit in... I guess he'll just sit in prison until one of his vassals takes over. Since it would appear that... Oh yes, his father is the next one in line. Huh. Humorous. Let's see how these raiders are doing down here. There we go. Looted 83 gold and took one of the house heirs as prisoner. Now, he might be worth selling. Wow, that was a lot of gold, though. We're getting close to the maximum amount that we can put in this fleet. But let us see if any of these are worth ransoming. No. 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 For 10 gold, I'd rather just let them rot. Let's see. Brown's the... Not going to sell him back for 10 gold. Gold. 46. I will sell back the heir for 46 gold. It's worth that to me. And not going... I just imprisoned Ake, so I am not going to ransom him. But I've caught the enemy here in Napoli, and so we'll have to defeat them, and then we'll siege down the county capital, and then I will get back on my ships and return home. Another successful capture, or another successful siege in England, and we got our 46 gold to sell off the heir of this great house. Since we have plenty of money, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade some more here in our home, or in our capital. Let's see. I'm going to upgrade in Zealand, increase the amount of infantry and pikemen, because even if that particular county is inherited by someone else, at the end of the day we still will get a percentage, and thus it won't matter because, or excuse me, we will still get a percentage of the new amount of troops, and so the upgrades still help us. Alright, and we have caught the enemy here. Another successful siege in Wiltshire. I believe that's all of them, so on to Wessex. And very successful battle in Napoli, giving us tons of prestige and piety. Well, not directly to us, to the leaders. And some military tech. So now we're just going to siege that down. And while I'm thinking about technology, let's see. We don't have enough to upgrade anything else in military. We could upgrade popular culture, or popular customs, for 20 whole points, but it's barely worth it if it's already at 0.9 or 0.8. Economy advances. trade practices don't really help us other than allowing us to build some more valuable money or income buildings in coastal cities. I'm thinking improved keeps may be the way to go. Yes, I will go ahead and do that. And now that I can change some more laws, going to increase taxes on churches or cities. I'll do churches first, and then we'll turn around and lower the levies so that there's only a pretty small negative vassal opinion modifier, and this should bring in equal or increased levies plus increased taxes. So money plus men seems like the way to go. And that would be a very long time to fully loot down or to fully sack this castle. So I'm just going to loot until they are now defended. And so going to loot Wales, and then I will probably disband this particular army. Let the men go home and reinforce before the next war, which may just be in Ireland. Although Scotland keeps on encroaching. So we need to probably attack Ireland sooner, preferable to later. And succeeded in the capture of Napoli as well, so looting 66 gold, destroying the trade post, and taking someone's son. And now our king has gotten the reputation as a Viking raider, and so gets this nice Viking trait. So, I'm going to send the men back home on the boats. And that siege is already sieged, or has already looted everything they can. So I'm going to disband these raiders. And I'll lose 32 troops for whatever reason. But thankfully, the retinues, of course, the retinues stay raised even when you when you send home all of the raised levies. I'm going to turn off looter for now, though. And it looks like Scotland has taken another bit of land from Wessex, which we really are going to have to fight Scotland sooner or later. But hopefully they'll have a succession war, which will split it up. Although it looks like they just have the 2 sons for this one. But heck, maybe those 2 will get into a war and then we can take advantage. And we have a weak claim to Wessex, which would allow our vassal to claim the entire, which would allow him to claim all of it, because he would be taking, I believe, the entire, oh no, it would probably just take this land of Wessex, because, yeah, the current petty king of Wessex has 2 different dukedoms. But because he just recently inherited, we no longer have the truce, and so I'm going to move this retinue down to Oxford, and once these raiders return home with all of their loot, we will send them home and then re-raise them and take advantage of our new weak claim to add a duchy to our kingdom. Not our personal holdings, but the kingdom nonetheless, plus take some more land. So, but for now, and of note was that we just went all the way up this river, the Dnieper, I believe it's the Dnieper, would be how you'd pronounce it, but one of the things added with Old Gods is that until the fort levels of bordering provinces gets too high, you can send ships, well, Norsemen can send ships up and down some of these big rivers, which made our trip to the Mediterranean much shorter. And we have now returned with 422 gold and 422 prestige. That is a huge amount. So I'm going to disband this unit so that we can declare war. But I will save that war for next time, so I think I'm going to stop there for now. Added a little bit more of England and had a very successful time raiding the Mediterranean. So thanks for watching, and check back soon for more Crusader Kings 2, The Old Gods.